What's going on, guys? It's your boy Black Fox here, back again with another custom video. In this video we're going to be working on a skateboard deck that we're going to customize. So we're going to do another Demon Slayer custom, but this time we're going to add Hashira to the custom. Well, actually, maybe this, you could say two Hashiras. One of them is pretty much Shinobu, and then her, I guess her sister or her relative. Just leave a comment in the section below just to correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, so let's get started. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but there's a shine that's on the skate deck all around. That's the finisher, and we don't want that. So the way we're going to get rid of it is using sandpaper. I'm going to start off with the lowest grit that I got is 400 grit, and then I'll work my way up to 1000 grit, and then I'll use acetone to clean it off, and then use Bulldog adhesion promoter, so when I apply the paint it'll be more durable once I apply the paint on. You can paint on the finisher if you're using the skate deck as a display piece, but if you do plan on making a custom like this and making a skateboard out of it, there'll be some durability to it, but it's not a force field that'll keep it from being damaged forever. Say if you were to do a grind or an ollie or basically ride it down. And this is pretty much what hours of sanding and wood dust look like. It gets real messy, so just word of warning if you do decide to sand down a skate deck and prep. But prep is always key. Out of nowhere, I just started thinking of the LeBron James pregame ceremony. Every time he would get dust and then just throw it in the air. Before we add the Bulldog adhesion promoter, we have to clean up all the dust and all the debris that was left behind on the skate deck. So I'm gonna go over it with some acetone cotton balls. Like I mentioned in previous videos, you want to take your time with this. This took me about maybe like 15 minutes. I think 10-15 minutes. I just went over it a bunch of times, so just to make sure all the dust and all that debris from sanding was completely gone, or at least the way I saw it, and that there was no shine to the back of the skate deck. Like I mentioned many times in previous videos, preparation is key. So I'm just looking over the skateboard deck, just making sure the area I prepped is 100% or at least close to it. Afterwards, I'll take it outside with the adhesion Bulldog promoter, and I'll spray all around the back of the skateboard deck and let it sit for about 15 minutes. I would advise spraying it outside because this stuff stinks, and I'm pretty sure it's bad for you to breathe in. "15 minutes later, now we're getting to the painting. So I'm gonna use my airbrush, and I will use opaque white from Jacquard paint to spray all over on the bottom of the skateboard deck. What is this going to do? This is going to give me a base coat to work with and to even out the surface. Since I prepped on the back of the skateboard deck, it's going to look uneven if I just go straight forward and add any other color that's not white, just to give a even surface for the paint when I start putting on the secondary colors. just going over the areas that's uneven with some sandpaper. I alternate with 600 grit to 400 grit. It's pretty much areas that's uneven or the paint pretty much lifted up from the heat gun. It's a small detail, but it'll make a huge difference once the custom is finished. After multiple coats later, as you see, everything's smoothed out, whitened out, so we have an even base coat to work with. Now it's time to trace out the reference images onto the skateboard deck. As you see, I have part of the reference image. I just have to trace out and modify it since it didn't print out properly onto the paper from the computer. And then once I do that, I'll cut it out using an X-Acto knife to shape it out and properly trace it onto the skateboard deck. Pro tip when it comes to tracing out reference images: just use a piece of tape and tape the top and bottom of the reference image. You don't have to use too much. You can just use like a little piece. It'll go a long way and you'll have one extra hand to work with. Just don't use anything that'll leave a lot of adhesion behind, like Gorilla tape or duct tape. You can just use the tape like I have here, which is Scotch tape. It's not too sticky, but it's not little sticky. It'll get the job done. Now I'm gonna mask off the reference area with Scotch tape. This is gonna make it easier for me to go into details with painting after I use the airbrush to paint majority of the area. After going over the Scotch tape, I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife and trace around the area that I sketched out so there's a perfect outline of the reference image being masked off. So off camera, I was playing around with the Jacquard opaque purple through the airbrush, and it actually looks better than I thought. So I'm more likely going to be sticking with the opaque purple, and I'll be using fluorescent purple. I'll mix around with white, the opaque white, between those two, just to see which parts will pop on the skateboard deck. while, but came out with a pretty nice result. Everything's pretty much even, and actually it has like somewhat of a mystery look to it, but that was what I'm trying to go for. So now that we finished the background and majority of the painting, now we're going to take off the masked areas of the reference images and go into details with the painting. So off camera I did some looking around on some images and decided to add some more reference images, which in this case is butterflies. So I just used some Angel's white paint and a detail brush and just outlined some butterflies that I would just fill in with some white Angel's paint. Off camera I used the airbrush with Jacquard opaque white to make a gradient look around the butterflies, and I also used two different colors that I pre-mixed into the airbrush just to give a gradient look and make the butterflies pop onto the skate deck. The premix is pretty much purple from Jacquard and opaque white, and I use pretty much the same thing on the second one, but it's just more opaque white than purple. So off camera, I pretty much did like in the previous videos, using an X-Acto knife for the reference image and traced them out into bits and pieces onto the skateboard deck. And now we do the detail painting. Oh, almost forgot. I'm pretty sure somebody was saying in the comments that I forgot the colors for this one. It's a bunch of colors, and there's a lot of pre-mixed colors that I have to do because you can't exactly use colors from Angelus straight to give that anime look. There's a lot of mixtures you have to do, but for the colors that I use, it's pretty much vanilla, a purple, hot pink. It's a lot that I think off the top of my head. Even when I was doing this, I lost track of the colors. I ended up having to use a color palette to help with mixing the colors and keep going back and forth to apply the paint. And this is pretty much what we got now, and it actually looks a lot better than what I planned out initially, especially the little details with the butterflies. To protect this beautiful custom, I'll be using Krylon matte finish and Krylon gloss finish. This will replace the sheen that I took off earlier in the video, and it will also add a level protectant, say if dirt or debris got on it, but it won't protect it if you were riding a skateboard with it. That's pretty much the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, leave a like, leave a comment what you like about the video, or what's your favorite Haru. Do you like Shinobu, or do you like Rengoku, or do you like any characters on Demon Slayer? Just leave a comment. And if you like videos like these, make sure to subscribe. I post customs like these, and I also plan on making some sneaker restorations in the near future. So, this is Black Fox, and I'll see you next time. Peace.